I have $0 in the bank, no land, no tractor, nothing to my name. But in this series, I'm going to build a full-blown farming empire from absolutely nothing. Every single dollar will be earned legit. No cheats, no shortcuts, just pure hustle. And today's mission, make our very first $1,000. There's really only one way to start, contract work. I mean, let's be real. We can't even afford to buy a shovel right now. So it's time to grind, take whatever jobs we can find, and slowly build our way up from rock bottom. There were 2 fertilizing contracts available, but I couldn't accept them because I didn't have any money to buy fertilizer up front. Without fertilizer, I couldn't complete the jobs, so I had no choice but to wait for other contracts to appear, ones that didn't require any initial investment. Eventually, a contract popped up to harvest Field 62, which was ready for an oat harvest. The contract payout was just under $3,000, and after leasing the equipment, I'd be left with a profit of around $2,000. Not the biggest win, but I had no choice. I had to start somewhere. This would be my first real step forward. I didn't waste a second. I jumped into the harvester and headed straight to the field. Since I didn't have enough money to hire an AI worker, I had to do everything myself. That's just how it is at the beginning. Once I start making more money, I'll be able to delegate some of this work. After finishing the harvest, I transported the crops to the farmer's market to sell the leftover oats. That alone earned me just under $1,200 on top of the contract pay. Not bad for the first day of work. With the money from the harvest, I finally had enough to buy some fertilizer and take on fertilizing contracts. These are some of the easiest and most profitable jobs early on. I accepted 3 contracts on fields 21, 23, and 30, and picked up 1,000 liters of solid fertilizer from the store. Once those fields were fertilized, I collected the payouts from the contracts, just over $8,000 total. I even saved the leftover fertilizer for future contracts by unloading it back at the store. The same field I harvested earlier, field 62, now needed cultivating. I accepted that contract as well, which brought in around $2,000. After that, I picked up a rock removal contract for $2,300. More fertilizing contracts started appearing, so I accepted a few more, bringing in an additional $6,500. Next, I took on a stone picking contract that earned me $3,800, and I also sold the stones I collected from the field, making an extra $500. After that, I accepted a bale wrapping contract on field 45 that brought in $5,000. At this stage, I didn't have many options. I just had to keep grinding out contract after contract to build up enough money to finally buy my first piece of land. That was the goal for today. I accepted a bunch of smaller jobs, fertilizing, stone picking, and then a big one landed, harvesting field 91 with canola. The contract itself was worth $11,700, which made it my highest-paying job so far. I immediately jumped into the harvester and even hired an AI worker to help with the field. After delivering the harvest to the selling point, I also sold the leftover canola and earned an extra $7,300. Not bad at all. Right after that, I picked up another big contract, Fertilizing Field 77 for $9,600. I continued hammering out job after job, harvesting, fertilizing, and more. I also sold leftover crops from the contracts, which added even more to the bank account. Another big contract came in, Baling on Field 88, which paid me $10,000. I kept going, stacking contract after contract, determined to save enough money to finally buy a piece of land, and hopefully a house too, so I wouldn't have to sleep under the stars. Eventually, after a full day of hustling, I managed to stack up $182,000. After a lot of thinking and scanning the map, I decided to buy farmland 54 for $145,000. Why that field specifically? You'll have to wait for the next episode to find out the plan I've got brewing. But here's the catch. Buying the land left me with only $36,400 in the bank, not enough to buy a house. And I wasn't about to sleep on the grass. So, I went right back to work. After grinding out a few more contracts, I earned just over $55,000, which was exactly what I needed to buy a farmhouse. Mission accomplished. And that's it for episode 1 of the Starting from $0 series. Thanks for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss the next episode, where I'll be taking the first steps toward building a real farming empire. If you want to watch another video, click here. And if you've got any ideas for making quick money in FS25, drop them in the comments below.